That was the message to stall. A poignant moment like that, and I have to come back and stall. They were here earlier because I saw them rehearsing. So, what would you like to talk about? How long do I have to stall? Well, look, I have a thought. It does come to mind. I'm not certain the timing is all that great for it, but are they about to walk in? Oh, that's such good news. I'll come back to that point later in the evening.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above a holy sky. Imagine all the people living life in peace. Imagine there's no country. Nothing to kill or die for, and no divisions too. Sing with us. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you care. No need for greed or hunger, a brotherhood of men. Imagine all the people living for today. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join Tum ta na 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 na, ta na 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 re. Tum ta na 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 na, ta na 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 re.
Thank you.
I think you'll agree that was a terrific performance. Thank you. And a fitting memory to those that served our general cause. My name is John Hishme, and I have the pleasure of introducing the next honoree. When we talked a little bit earlier, she explained that she prefers to be behind the camera than in front of the camera, so I hope you'll be nice to her when she comes up here. Jenny Buccos was born in Washington, D.C., and Jenny spent her childhood in rural upstate New York. Arriving in New York City in 1999, she worked on web-based startup projects and global media production by managing ventures in Hong Kong, Tokyo, and in New York. She left the corporate world in 2003 and co-founded ProjectExplorer.org, an organization that produces free online global travel series designed for families and classrooms. In 5 years, Project Explorer went from a simple idea to a world-class, award-winning program that has been accessed by nearly 2.5 million visitors globally. Her work is fostering the next generation of global citizens by encouraging awareness of the world beyond the student's own community. She has received the attention of celebrities and world leaders through her 2008 Global Citizen. Ms. Buccos directed and produced the program series called South Africa to inform school-age children about South Africa's diverse cultural history while educating about difficult subjects like HIV/AIDS and the legacy of apartheid. For this project, she worked with Archbishop Desmond Tutu, South African actor and playwright Dr. John Kani, from the Apartheid Museum, and Pulitzer Prize-winning photographer Greg Marinovich. Such endeavors are out of the ordinary because she takes the time to properly research what is needed to capture environments without bias and gains access to areas that provide a rich landscape of learning. For months in 2008, Jenny was on location in Jordan, filming her third series, which debuted in 2009. With the prevalence of the Iraq War coverage on every screen in every home across the country, Ms. Buccos and her team took an in-depth look at the rich history, culture, and passions of that area, of an area that remains a significant mystery to Americans of all ages. The Mexico series was in response to a media frenzy related to Mexico's safety issues, drug trade, and controversy surrounding illegal immigration into the U.S. Her insights and reporting served as a powerful reminder of the great, globally rich possibilities that exist beyond mass media. The lesson, above all else, that asking and pursuing your own questions about the world in which we live is the cornerstone of true humanity. The Mexico series debuted in September 2010, and Ms. Buccos is currently developing projects in Taiwan, Korea, and India. Project Explorer is a positive voice in a time when media and global misunderstanding rule the airwaves. To date, she has directed and produced more than 200 short films for students and families. Because of her efforts, over 1 million students around the world experience intelligent inquiry around what it means to be a global citizen. A cash award in her honor will be donated to Project Explorer by the U.S. Center for Citizen Diplomacy. It's time to go global with Project Explorer. I'm delighted to introduce Jenny Buccos.
I am truly honored to be in the presence of my fellow awardees who I consider to be awe-inspiring global citizens. When I got the phone call that I had received this award, I actually thought it was a mistake. When I began Project Explore, my goal was to encourage students to see and experience the world, even if travel wasn't possible. I wanted to create something that would reinvigorate students and teachers, something that went far beyond textbooks and maps. In 2003, while I was planning my first series, I saw a play at Lincoln Center called Nothing But the Truth by South African playwright and actor John Connie. I hadn't had much exposure to South Africa's history. In fact, I'd never been to the continent of Africa, but I found myself captivated by this play. He weaved a poignant personal story together with the Truth and Reconciliation hearings and growing tensions in a post-apartheid South Africa. For the next several months, I spent all of my free time researching the history of South Africa, trying to fill in the scenes of his play. This single performance opened my eyes to the immense power that storytelling can have. And this single realization proved that Project Explore could be something far more than a virtual travel program. I could, through personal narrative, create awareness and interest in political, social, and humanitarian issues, just like Dr. Connie had done for me. In 2007, I arrived in South Africa to build my second series around the stories of Archbishop Desmond Tutu, conflict photographer Greg Mrnovich, musicians Miriam Makeba and Sipho Mabuse, and of course, the person who inspired the underlying focus of Project Explore, Dr. Connie. Now developing my fifth series, I continue to pursue and capture these personal narratives so that students can better understand our world through a medium that compels personal action. I visit schools around the globe, and every time I visit a school, students ask me, do you have to be a traveler to be a global citizen? And I give them one word of advice, and it's the advice I'd like to leave with you tonight. To be a global citizen, to be a citizen diplomat, share your stories. Listen to the stories of others. This is the dialogue that will help us erase the borders that separate us. I'd like to thank the Center for Citizen Diplomacy for this honor. This award is shared with more than 100 storytellers around the world who I have had the honor to film with. It is shared with my amazing crew of young filmmakers and photographers who travel the world with me. Without question, they put full faith in me. And it is shared with one of my favorite storytellers and friend who I've been dying for 7 years to thank, Dr. John Connie. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Connie Weimer, and tonight I'm very proud to be a member of the board of the U.S. Center for Citizen Diplomacy. It's my pleasure tonight to introduce Richard Webb. A Peruvian-born U.S. citizen, Richard Webb has dedicated his entire adult life to promoting global understanding. Through hands-on projects, people from different corners of the world are brought together to work toward a common goal. As the co-founder of the ProWorld Fund, a nonprofit organization developed to work in conjunction with the existing ProWorld enterprise, Mr. Webb seeks to push the bounds of what is possible through private and civil sector collaboration. Following his undergraduate studies at Vassar College in New York, he started a career as a professional soccer player. A social entrepreneur at heart, his career interests soon shifted to development aid. The rapid spread of multi-sector collaborations as a means of enhancing community well-being and solving complex problems drew his attention. So he entered Oxford University and earned an MBA in social enterprise in 2006. Led by Richard Webb, ProWorld volunteers have logged almost 700,000 hours of volunteer service and have injected more than $6 million of capital into local economies. Since 2000, ProWorld's volunteers have accomplished the following: installed more than 5,400 clean-burning stoves in rural Peruvian villages, treated more than 17,000 patients during a 3-year clinical outreach program, constructed 22 elementary schools, planted more than 24,000 native plants and trees that were threatened by extinction. Keenly interested in the potential for effective development work with volunteer participation, he served on the executive committee of the International Schedule Volunteer Programs Association and is a regular presenter on volunteer travel at NAVSA, the worldwide association advancing international education and exchange and global workforce development. Over the past decade, ProWorld Service Corps facilitated thousands of cross-cultural experiences for Americans and foreign communities. Through ProWorld, Mr. Webb is committed to demonstrating that Americans traveling abroad can cultivate enormous goodwill while engaging in and financing valuable small-scale development projects. His efforts engage university students in volunteer service, understanding that these experiences can transform a young person's life and encourage them on a path of lifelong international volunteerism. He is currently interested in applying fair trade standards to tourism in Peru and Mexico. The U.S. Center for Citizen Diplomacy will be donating a cash award in his honor to ProWorld Service Corps. Please join me to welcome Richard Webb.
Wow. I am, in fact, speechless. People who know me know that that does not happen very often. Firstly, I want to thank the Center for Citizen Diplomacy. I am overwhelmed by the opportunity to be here with so many very, very impressive people. I am truly humbled and honored. And I'm actually very grateful. I'm grateful for the cash award that will let us invest in our ceramic water filter project. We plan on improving our production facility. We should be producing 4 times the number of water filters as a result of this award, so we want to thank them very much for that. I was listening to people speak, and this up and down of emotions. I am at once sort of weighed down by the importance and the gravity and the opportunity that I've been given. I feel now charged with the responsibility to do more and to do it better. So I feel heavy in respect with that. I feel that I owe the Center for Diplomacy more. As a result, I'm looking forward to trying to live up to this award. I want to quickly note that this award really I accept on behalf of all the great workers at ProWorld out in the field doing this work every day, working very hard to make this happen. As we've grown, I've become more and more distant from the field work. I still spend about 5 months in the field every year, but less and less I am there, and it's hard to be away from that. The connection to the projects and to the people is what ultimately is the most valuable part of this, I think, for everybody. And if we think about the citizen diplomacy side of this and not the development side, we recognize that when people connect with people, there's a value there that surpasses the national differences, the geographic differences, the shared humanity that comes through. It really outshines any of those political differences. And I think that's part of what we're celebrating today, is that ability for that connection to happen regardless of how much we're helping, really, because when we celebrate our own citizen diplomats, we have to recognize that there are a great number of citizen diplomats in the countries that we're working in that are representing their own countries. And that is sort of the opportunity to give that dialogue or give those folks a voice to speak to us, as it were, I think is very powerful as well. Yeah, I could speak all day. I'm very excited to be here. So I just want to thank you very much And I want to say that I'm looking forward to living up to this honor. And I'm very happy that this has happened. I look forward to it happening again very soon. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Gillian Poole, and I have the huge pleasure of introducing Judith Jamison, who is indeed the company that she represents, the Alvin Ailey Company. I was thinking about her. I was in London last week, and I went to an extraordinary and very large exhibition at the Victoria and Albert Museum. And it concerned Diaghilev and the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo. It was a larger exhibition than you would have expected, but the theme was that here was a man, through his dance and through his company, that had affected every area of art, music, the visual arts. And as I was thinking about Judith Jamison, it occurred to me that for the last 50 years, obviously the Ballet Russe had the first 50 years, for the last 50 years, that impact all over the world has been made by Alvin Ailey. I don't want to say more about this fabulous person and company, but let's welcome her in the way she really deserves.
Well, I was freezing, but you have warmed the cockles of my heart. Oh my goodness, what fabulous stories. And then it's all real and true and hands-on, and, you know, dancers are very hands-on, you know, and we leave dreams behind. And that's what we've been doing for the last 52 years with the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. I'm so honored to be in your company, all the honorees, honored and awed by what you do. So it's my pleasure to be with you this evening, and to thank the Center for Citizen Diplomacy for even considering to give me an award. Thank you, Mrs. Poole. It's a pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you. And it also pleases me no end to share the stage, as I say, with my fellow honorees, that you do so much to share your love of humanity. Alvin loved us as people first. He always said that. I want to see you come out of these dances. He was very concerned about the human being, about the people that we were, and that we should then, with the choreography that we're given, show what it was like to be human, be fantastic, have great technique, be able to pirouette and kick your legs to your ears and grand jeté and do all those fabulous things that fascinate people. But the most important thing to him was that as long as we retained our truth as long as we understood who we were as people, that we could translate immense knowledge about what it was just to be human through our technique, through our dance. That was and remains the aim of the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater in its 52 years. Its 50th year of Revelations. Some of you are familiar with the ballet called Revelations. It's a ballet that's been done more than any other dance created, because it's requested to be done all over the world. And that ballet is simply about, I've been buked and I've been scorned. Did my Lord deliver Daniel? Fix me, Jesus, fix me. Take me to the water. Wade in the water. I want to be ready. Sinner man. You may run on, children, for a long time, but I tell you, God Almighty's going to cut you down. Rock of my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Oh, rock of my soul. These extraordinary Negro spirituals that to this day still translate to audiences what it is to be human. What more can a dance company expect than to translate all over the world the same message, that we're the same as you? What a treasure it is in my heart to be able, as I said this afternoon, to do what I've loved doing for the last 43 years, even if it involves living out of a suitcase constantly, but well worth it, because the indelible impression that the Ailey Company has left on the world and continues to leave on the world is one of the most important things that we can do for our country and for the world. We've been claimed as cultural ambassadors. Congress made it official, but we've known that for a long time. We have loved and continue love touching people's hearts, minds, and spirits. Otherwise, as I say to my dancers, what's the point? It's too hard to dance. The way we dance, it's too hard. It's a repertory company with over 250 ballets in that repertory, each coming from choreographers from all parts of the world, with dancers from everywhere in the world. I hope we're remembered for another 52 years as Robert Battle, who is the artistic director designate, takes over next year from me, and as I retire, or as I say, rewire myself. I am loving hearing the stories that I heard tonight, seeing the emotion and the tears. Know that the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater continues to touch the hearts and minds of people around the world. We are remembered generation to generation, cross racial lines, religious lines, any line you want to draw, we've crossed it. We've been through wars, we've been to countries after wars, and been to them just before they're about to have one. But in the interims, we have settled nerves, we have caressed hearts and minds, we have changed minds. We have loved doing what we're doing, and we will continue to do this. Our mission is to continue making sure that we all understand that we are the same, and we want the same things in life. Love, charity, hope, triumph, engaging each other in any way possible, and lifting us up always to a higher plane. Thank you very much.
I'm Cynthia Schneider. I'm the co-chair of the International Cultural Engagement Task Force, together with Frank Hotzel, from whom you heard earlier tonight. It is my great honor to now tell you a little something about Salman Ahmad, who you heard earlier, before he comes out to conclude the evening with another song. And what an evening it has been. Thank you so much to the Center for this incredibly inspiring evening. Like any other good Pakistani son, Salman Ahmad became a doctor. But the only problem was, by the time he finished his medical training, he'd already picked up a guitar. And so, as a medical doctor who was pretty good in the electric guitar won out. And he went on in his native Pakistan to found first the rock band Vital Signs, and secondly, the band Junoon, which went on to become the most popular rock band in Southeast Asia and still is today. Recently, there was an NPR story on the history of Pakistan through rock music, and the person interviewed said about Junoon, at Vital Signs first and then Junoon, that it was the first time that she realized that Pakistan could be really cool, and Pakistani men could be really cool. But Salman is much more than a doctor and a musician, as if that weren't enough. He is also a UN ambassador. He is also an author of his autobiography, which was published last year by Simon & Schuster, which is called Very Intentionally Rock and Roll Jihad. And he fought for that title as a way to reclaim that word for what it truly means. Salman has always been an artist with a conscience, an artist who promotes causes and who tells the truth in his songs, sometimes at great risk. When he was first performing in Pakistan in the 1990s, he created a music video called Ehtisab, which means accountability. And he took on the corruption in the government of Benazir Bhutto, targeting in particular her husband, who's now the president of Pakistan. And he has remained active, but he didn't only point out the negative things. His song Dil Dil Pakistan, created under General Zia in a very, very repressive situation, has become a kind of national anthem for Pakistan and is always played for any time of celebration, particularly after a sports win. More recently, Salman, having moved to the United States, has been active in supporting issues and causes in Pakistan. This time last year, he organized a huge event at the United Nations in the General Assembly to benefit the victims, the refugees from the Swat Valley. And most recently, he has recorded a song together with Peter Gabriel to benefit the victims of the recent floods. His new song, Open Your Eyes, has been covered already on CNN and BBC, and in fact, he's going to be leaving right after his performance tonight to go back to New York to appear at the UN tomorrow morning to present this new song. So please welcome once again Salman Ahmad.
Thank you, Cynthia, for that very warm welcome. You know, sometimes I was listening to the speech from our speaker before, and you know, what was echoing in my mind was unity. you know, how music, arts, and culture, they transcend religious, political divides. And what they end up doing is opening the doors in our hearts. And when you see with the heart, all the masks fall down. But tonight, I also am, you know, very grateful for some amazing musicians, friends who are with me. From Calcutta, India, Samir Chatterjee on tablas. On dhol from Delhi, Sunny Jan. And my dear friend from Rockland County, John Alec on guitar. So here's the deal now. We've had the speeches. This is the time that we, you know, just like rock and roll destroys the wall between the performer and the audience, so does Sufi music, Qawwali music. So if you want to dance, if you want to scream, clap, you're free to do so. Put your hands together, come on. Sayoni, Sayoni, चैन एक पल नहीं, चैन एक पल नहीं, चैन एक पल नहीं, और कोई हल नहीं. Sayoni, Sayoni. कौन मोड़े मुहा कौन मोड़े मुहा कौन मोड़े मुहा कोई सांभल नहीं ओ चैन एक पल नहीं चैन एक पल नहीं चैन एक पल नहीं और कोई हल नहीं सयोनी सयोनी क्या बशर की बिसा क्या बशर की बिसा क्या बशर की बिसा आज है कल नहीं ओ चैन एक पल नहीं चैन एक पल नहीं चैन एक पल नहीं और कोई हल नहीं सयोनी सयोनी Sayoni means soulmate. छोड़ मेरी खता छोड़ मेरी खता छोड़ मेरी खता तू तो पागल नहीं चैन एक पल नहीं चैन एक पल नहीं चैन एक पल नहीं और कोई हल नहीं सयोनी 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 I don't know if many of you are aware or not, but in August, since August, there have been these sort of unrelenting floods in Pakistan. And just to give you an idea, 10 times bigger than Haiti, 20 million people displaced out of their towns and villages, lives and infrastructure ravaged. And for the last 3 months, what I've really been trying to do is to, get attention. And one of the best ways to get attention is to, through song. So I wrote a song called Open Your Eyes. And in addition to Samir Ji and Sunny and John, we've got the great pleasure of having the great Peter Gabriel sing with me on that. and Alison Sudal of A Fine Frenzy. She sung on it as well. So we're going to do, we got a surprise for you, but I was just going to give you a little teaser of Open Your Eyes, and then go into this very, it's a celebration song called Lal Meri Baat. So if you want to check out Open Your Eyes, you can go to YouTube and write my name and Peter Gabriel's, and it'll come there. And if you want to download it, it's on iTunes. Each download, all the proceeds will go to the flood victims. This is a little teaser, Open Your Eyes.
Open your eyes, open your heart. Open your heart, open your eyes. Open your eyes, open your heart. Open your eyes, open your heart. चार चराग तेरे बलन हमेशा, चार चराग तेरे बलन हमेशा। पंजवा बालन आयो भला झूले लालन, पंजवा बालन पंजवा बालन आयो भला झूले लालन। सिंदड़ी दा सेवण दास के शाहबाज हमा तो मस्त कलंदर अली दा पहला नंबर। हमा तो मस्त कलंदर सुखी शाहबाज कलंदर। ओ लाल मेरी ओ लाल मेरे। जनन जनन तेरी नौबत वाजे, जनन जनन तेरी नौबत वाजे। नाल बजे घड़े याल भला is about unity. I'm going to sing a line of syllables. Very simple. We can rehearse this. But I'd like for each one of you to sing along. Can we just bring this down so everyone can hear this? So really simple. It goes like this. Tum ta na 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 na. Tum ta na 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 na. Can you do that? Tum ta na 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 na. Tum ta na 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 na. Come on, everybody. Tum ta na 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 na.
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 The ones of you can't do it, you can do this. Da na 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 na, da na 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 re. Da na 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 na, da na 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 re.
Tum ta na 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 na, ta na 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 ne.
Da na 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 na, da na 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 re.
Tum ta na 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 na.
Are you getting the hang of it? Come on. Da na 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 na, da na 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 re.
Tum ta na 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 na, ta na 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 ne.
Come on, Sunny Jen, show them how it's done. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Samir Chatterjee on the tablas. Sunny Jen on dhol. John Alec. Thank you. I'm Salman Ahmed. Check out Open Your Eyes.
Okay, very quickly, just before we adjourn, and I ask Lori to send us out of here, there's a little story I'd like to share and make certain that everybody understands. This organization, the U.S. Center for Citizen Diplomacy, is just 4 years old. And it was the idea of a group of your peers at a retreat called Wingspread in Wisconsin just 4 years ago. A group of you, many of whom are here tonight, got together and said the whole idea of citizen diplomacy ought to have a center, a nexus that will not compete with our existing institutions, but rather serve them. In those 4 years, that's what the U.S. Center for Citizen Diplomacy has become. David Rowe, our chair, and Shadi, our president, Jessica Rowe, who produced this wonderful event this evening, and a staff, Tom Gittens. I will never get all the names, but there are so many people that worked under the leadership of these other folks that I've mentioned that produced not just this evening, but this entire week, programs over the last 4 years and the experiences you all are participating in today and throughout the rest of this week. So I will ask you a question. As you proceed through tomorrow and Friday, as you reflect on your way home and in the coming days, decide for yourselves if you believe this institution serves you, because it cannot be sustained without your broad-based support. If you think this institution improves your work, if you think the value is really there for what's been done this week, you can make a decision to keep this institution alive. Without your support and your confidence, it won't stay alive, it cannot stay alive, and it probably shouldn't stay alive. It's up to you to make that decision. I think we've had a great week, and I'm honored to be a part of it. Lori, take us home here.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help the U.S. Center for Diplomacy again thank all the honorees for the great performances and the great performances. Ted and I are thrilled that you have joined us for this remarkable evening, and what a privilege it has been for all of us to shine the spotlight on these citizen diplomats. Honorees, please join me on the stage.
What are we applauding?
The honorees.
Good. Are they coming up?
Yes.
Good.
Thank you, all of you. One more. Again, right here. Again, please honor these. Now we invite you to join us for dessert.